everyone surviving so far. No, they are not. Getting hit.
Look, it goes forward. What a move! That's some late braking, and that's what you want to see. Lots of pressure put on the McLaren driver, but he's dealing with it like a boss.
Stick green, but only have 17 stick. It's a little bit too much curve. Not just a soft there. Hello and welcome guys to the stream. Sorry I had the wrong audio settings on there. Hope everyone is doing well. Just curious as to why my game audio, there we go, I think that's both my game audio and mic actually working now. There we go. So tonight we have to practice Nürburgring. We've got to practice. It's going to be a wet race that we're doing, but we're going to practice in the dry and try and see if we can get a good hot lap together, like a 53 or something, because we were mid 54s earlier today. So if I could get a mid 53, that would be ideal. So we're trying to improve the lap time a bit. Need to find like another second or something before it would be good enough to upload, and we also need to really build a good wet setup, because we have a wet race on Friday. And then if we still have some time after we've done that, we're going to do a bit of Porsche at Barcelona, because I need to build a setup for there as well. So we'll see how we get on. I've done most of the setup work yesterday and today for Nürburgring, and I've got the setup feeling pretty good at the moment. Quite happy with how it's feeling. Just need to practice my driving a bit and then make a few small adjustments. Excuse me, but the rotation is really nice, so just seeing how we get on. How's it going, Riddle Time? Do you use G-Sync? I don't use G-Sync in game, no, I've got that turned off, just because I found that it lowered the frame rate quite a bit, so I just turned it off. Although depending on what graphics card and setup you have and that, obviously you might want to have it on to have a smoother experience, but for me personally I've just got it turned off so I get a bit better FPS. If anyone wants my graphics settings, by the way, I made a video on the YouTube channel about 4 or 5 days ago, and it's got all my graphics settings in that. If anyone wants the graphics settings, they're just the ones I'm using currently. I'm good. Still need to prepare some dinner. 9:30. 9:30 and you've not had your dinner yet. Must be starving, man. I'll go check them out. Yeah, no worries. Like I say, if you want all my settings, I think it's my second last video. I think I released it like 4 days ago, so if you just press videos on the channel you should be able to find it fairly easy. Car feels very nice, very slow lap so far. I mean, we're 6/10 slower than what I did earlier in the first sector. I did a 54.9 and that was a 55.5, so quite a slow lap to start off, but car feels really good. If you play full screen mode, that should help with more FPS. Yeah, I used to use full screen mode, but I found that some of my overlays, like the stream chat and things, wouldn't display over the top of the game when I had full screen mode on, so I had to turn it off, unfortunately. But I can't see the window, it's weird, it takes up my entire screen, so it doesn't look like I'm playing it windowed, but I don't have full screen mode on at the moment. Okay, that first sector was a bit quicker but still slow. Yeah, I'm currently running a MSI 3060 graphics card. But yeah, I would definitely say to use full screen, but like it's just because the chat doesn't always display if I've got full screen mode on that I've just turned it off. But for games that I play, I usually always have full screen mode on. It's just for the ones I have to stream, I've got to turn it off. Same on Race Room as well. If I have full screen mode on, I can't have the chat over the top, so I've got to turn full screen mode off for that as well. Definitely noticing since the update that the tyres take quite a bit longer to get into the window. Before it was like 2 laps maximum when they were in the window, whereas now it's quite a bit longer. It's more like 3 or 4 laps until they're up to temperature. Obviously depending on the track temp and things like that. But it's usually between 3 and 4 laps to get them up to temperature. Oh, that was too slow, Cody. Too early on the brakes there for the left-hander. And didn't trail brake in that right-hander at all. That was not a very good first sector. Still up on the delta, but still slow. Really want to get down to the 53s tonight. So I got down to a 54.6 earlier today, and there was definitely a lot more in the lap, but I was mainly just focusing on getting the setup to a spot where I was happy with it, and now I'm quite happy with how the setup is, so I can just focus on the driving just now. Maybe make 1 or 2 setup adjustments as I feel necessary, but just now the setup feels quite good. Just need to find some lap time in my driving. Too early on the brakes there again. Such a low brake bias as well that I can brake a lot later than I realise, so I need to push my braking points a bit more. That was a nice turn one. Didn't lock up and didn't outbrake myself, that was quite good. Don't actually think it was much faster though. It felt smooth, but whether or not it was faster I have no idea. Missed the apex there. Good rotation there though, usually have to lift for the right hander. A bit wide. Still up on the delta, but just messed up my line a bit there. Oh, it feels nice through there now. Earlier today, before I got the setup better, it was very understeery through there. I had to lift quite a bit, whereas now it's close to flat through there, which is really good. Feels much better than it did earlier today. A little bit up on the delta, only a 10th. Chicane was a lot quicker than the last lap. Still a tad early on the brakes for the final corner. Need to brake a little bit later and have that late apex. Slow first and final sector, but a green middle sector there. Ah, that was a good first section there, 2/10 up. Oh, too much curb, Cody. Far too much curb. We'll get one more lap after this and then we'll have to wait till the session resets. Since this lap is rubbish, it's a good test to see how if I can go flat through here. I can if I kind of have to put it into a slide for the first part, like the left-hander on the entry, and then I can do it flat, but I'm not sure if that then makes it slower than a slight lift on entry, because you lose some of the momentum when you slide. Oh wow, that was rubbish, Cody. Definitely a lot of potential in the car, so if I could get to like a mid or a low 53, I'd be happy with that. So I'll need to, whoa! That was a weird one. So I need to make a few setup adjustments as I get some practice in, and then we will see what we can do lap time wise. Focus on the driving just now and then maybe make one or two setup adjustments. No Porsche. Just now, no Porsche for the moment. We still use the Porsche for the Monday League, and we will be using the new Porsche for the Endurance, the RCI Endurance Series. So we will need to do a bit of practice for that, maybe late tonight or this weekend, because we've got the next RCI race on Saturday next week. So that will be with a new Porsche. They're allowing everyone in the old version of the Ferrari, Lamborghini and Porsche to move on to the new version. However, PLR, which is the Monday League we do, they're keeping everyone on the old version of the car. So we've got to drive the old Porsche on the Monday League, the new Porsche on the Endurance Series, and then me and Luciano are going to use the Ferrari, which is what we're driving now, for the Friday League, which starts on Friday this week actually. So a new car, but I do quite like how this new Ferrari drives, so just getting some practice with it. And we do not have enough fuel to do another lap, so I will just yeet over the chicane and see how much curb it can take. Okay, that was too much of a yeet. So yeah. Have you tried the new update, Triple? Have you tried any of the new cars? I've not tried the new Lamborghini, to be honest, but I have tried the new Porsche and the new Ferrari. So currently the lap time I did earlier, that 54.6, is 1.3 seconds off
Green light. Go.
where I need to be. So I need to find a decent amount of lap time. So a few setup improvements we'll need, and also just a lot of practice. But the race on Friday is going to be in the wet, so we need to build the wet setup as well. But I want to get a bit more pace in the dry, see if we could get a good hot lap together. Because there's no point trying to build the wet setup when we don't even have a good dry setup. But for the time being, this feels quite good. but for the wet we'll definitely soften it quite a bit. Bit of sliding there. Oh, that was sketchy. Ah, a bit of understeer there. Didn't like that curve. Try to get a bit of temperature into the tires. Ah, a bit wide. Well, that lap certainly heated up the tires a bit. So let's start pushing, try get some good laps in. At least want to get a low 54 or a high 53 at minimum. Because we got a mid 54 earlier today. So I think with some more practice, a low 54 or a high 53 is certainly doable. Okay, slow first sector, but nice and smooth at least. But definitely a bit slow. Yeah, about half a second slow in that first sector. Not a great line through the hairpin either. Definitely seems that after the update, the tyres take longer to heat up. It's definitely a couple laps extra. I think someone was saying like before the update. Well, I personally found before the update it was between around about 2 laps and your tyres were in the correct temperature window. Whereas after the update, people are saying between 3 and 4. And to be honest, I would say that's what I'm finding as well. You do have to do an extra couple laps to heat up these tyres. Oh, a bit of understeer there. Just tried to carry a bit too much speed. Went a little bit wide on the exit. It's got such good rotation through there. Oh dear. Excuse me. That was a rather poor line through the chicane. Obviously got no delta, so don't really know how quick that was, but that felt really nice, that first section. The first half of Sector 1. Definitely feeling like there's a bit of understeer through that left-hander that we need to sort. Just not quite getting the rotation that I want. Okay, so slow lap, 55. But at least we finally have some delta. Lost quite a bit of time in that right-hander there. Good first sector. Middle sector not that great though. Oh, messed up completely there. That wasn't great. Whoa! That was a bad one. Okay, let's try this. So see that Mercedes that's just gone and done a 53A. That's the pace I need and want to be at in the dry. That's the pace I need to get down to. So yeah, I really would need to find a bit more lap time. Like I say, got to 54.6 earlier today, so we need to find some more lap time on that. So made just a couple setup adjustments there. So now we need to see if that's improved the rotation of the car. Just on the outlap there, that felt like a bit more rotation from the rear of the car through there. And that felt much better. Can I do this flat on the outlap? Nope. That was mildly scary. Whoa. What I did to the setup also seems to have made it slightly better over that chicane as well, which is good. So basically we want to find about 1.3 seconds off that 55.0. think I need a later apex for turn 1. I think I'm turning in too early. Seem to be having the wrong line for turn 2 as well, because of turn 1. So maybe need to adjust my line slightly there. Rotation definitely feels better through there though, which is what I was trying to improve. So once the tyres have got up to temperature and I've got adjusted to this setup, should be a bit better. Definitely feels like it's got more rotation, so hopefully this is a bit quicker. Whoa, that was a bit wide. Gained about a tenth, over a tenth through that right-hander. So definitely in the medium speed corners seem to have a bit more rotation with this setup adjustment, and seems way better over those sausage curbs in the chicane. Well, not really sausage curbs, but you know what I mean. The big curbs in the chicane definitely feels much better over them. That was both the green, middle and final sector. So that was definitely found some lap time with this setup adjustment. Could have been a later on the brakes into turn 1. Kind of braked too early there. That was messy. Messy through there. So the car feels good and it's definitely got more rotation. Just need to work my driving a bit because I messed up this lap. But definitely feels like the car's got more potential now. And like I say, over that chicane, when I actually get the line right, which I didn't there, it's definitely better over that higher curbing. And in the medium speed corners it feels a lot better. Oh, that was a much better first half of the first sector, 2.5 tenths up. Nearly went 4 tenths up, 3 tenths up just now. Four tenths, that's a 54.9 in the first sector. Best first sector I've done this session. Oh, that was a bit slow through the S. Gained a little bit of time there. Okay, still slower than what we did earlier today, but that was definitely a good first sector. I think that's my best first sector I've done, but sector 2 and 3 weren't great. Well, sector 3 I don't think was too bad, it was mainly sector 2 where I lost the lap time. Ah, rubbish. Through there. So looking to find 9.5 tenths at least. That wasn't great, that one either. Oh, a bit wide there, touched the gravel. I lost all the momentum. Oh ho ho, that was wide.
Please try to stay on the track.
Small error there.
Losing time in sector 3.
That was rubbish for sector 3 tenths down. That was not ideal. Not the ideal line through the S. Oh ho ho, that was wide. Let's just get some new tires.
Landing validated.
Right. That is a quick lap by the AMG there. AMG does look very competitive after the update. Both in SRO and that league we do on Mondays, Ben Crook and the AMG seems a lot more competitive than before the update. I mean, it was a good car, and it was competitive at a decent amount of tracks, but definitely seems to have got a bit of a buff after the update.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
Right, so fresh tyres, let's see what we can do now. Slight adjustment to the setup, but not much. Again, too early on the brakes into turn 1. Just waiting for the tyres to come up to pressure, or temperature I should say. They're already pretty much up to pressure. Whoa. Oh, too wide.
Lapping validated.
It was a rubbish lap anyway, but just annoying I messed up there.
Losing time in sector 2.
Okay, not a great start to the lap. good lap so far.
Lapping validated.
Come on, let's try to get a good one together.
Yellow flag, be careful there.
Oh, ho, ho, walk up. That was a bit rubbish. Have to walk up there.
Yellow flag, which hiding fault.
So there's definitely like 2/10 in that little section of corners there. Just need to hook up the rest of the lap.
Losing time in sector 1.
Oh, a bit slow there. A bit slow. Hairpin was rubbish, but the lap was already over.
Lapping validated.
Second time I've done that. Well, third. I can't remember. Better not do that in the race on Friday. And it's in the wet, so it would make it even worse if I did. Let's see it. Oof. Was it just touching the grass? Yeah, my back wheel's on the grass when I hit the brakes. Quite an epic slide though. But yeah, I dipped my wheels in the grass when I braked. That's not what you want to do. So we'll do this final 20 minutes and then we'll have to start building that wet setup. Oh dear. Tried to take a bit too much speed for the outlap there. Far too much curbing there. So the tyres, especially the fronts, aren't up to pressure or temperature yet, but we will start pushing anyway just to see how the setup feels.
Yellow flag, be careful there.
Now my driving was pretty rubbish there, and the tyres weren't great, but the setup definitely felt better in that first sector. And I didn't adjust much either, just made the viewer a bit more predictable. Oh yes, flat through there, that's what you want to see. That's like 2 tenths. If I can do that consistently. And it wasn't just a fluke. Definitely felt good through the S though. Much more stable, but still got the rotation, which is what I was trying to achieve. I was trying to achieve the rotation without too much of the sliding. Because if you just slide when you're rotating, then it's no use, because you're not moving forward, you're just sliding sideways, so you just lose all the momentum. You want the rotation without losing the grip. You want to find that balance between rotation and sliding. And this seems to be the sweet spot at the moment. And as I say that, I slide. But this definitely feels the best it's felt so far. Still a little bit of sliding, but you do want that. It's not sliding quite as much as it was previously. Feels quick, I just need to improve the driving a bit. The setup feels really good at the moment. Oh ho ho, too much girth. Oh, avoid the barrier. Oh, I'm not avoiding the barrier. I'm done. In the wall. I was trying to avoid the barrier, but I completely failed and hit the wall. Let's see a replay of that. That was a rather spectacular crash. I think I just clipped too much of the second curb and then tried to save it and instead lost it. What happened here? Right? There's like a massive bump in the grass that throws my car in the air. So here I go on the grass trying to save it, and then watch this. Bam! Look how high the rear of the car gets. Massive airtime. So there must be a hill in that grass. It's got massive airtime on the rear of the car. Right. Okay, so we've got about 12 minutes and then we'll go start building that wet setup. Almost flat on the outlap, definitely flat with optimum tyre pressures and temperatures, I think. That other lap, I must have nailed the first half of Sector 1. Because every time I do the first half of Sector 1, I lose time now. So I must have just nailed it on that other lap. Because now, like, most of my laps are ruined by Sector 1 because I'm losing so much time. So I need to replicate whatever I did on that other lap. Is it flat? Nope. Tiny lift. Come on. Most of the time I'm losing is in turn 1.
Yellow flag accepted.
Apex too early there. And messed up on that. Whoa! Oh, come on. Done that so many times now. Trying to use all the track on the entry, keep touching the grass. Just instant spin when I do. Finally getting turn 1 right there. Over rotated on the curb on the left hand side there. Lost a bit of delta. Not really found any time this lap. That was not great at all. Yeah, there was that.
He's trying to stay on the track.
Messed up. Right, let's try to get a tidy lap to go. Come on. Messes it up by the first corner. I think the tires are done. Right, let's join the server for the wet conditions. I'll just have a look for that just now because it's the SimZone server and I've not been in it yet. So I need to check the details for that. just find this. Where's the server details? Search for sim zone. So let's see what this is like. A sim zone. Sim zone. Okay, Friday track day. Nürburgring. Connect, and as you can see, it is most definitely wet.
Green light.
So let me load up a setup. So I'm gonna load the setup we were just using and start making it wet compatible. Right, let's try this. See what it's like in the wet. Straight out of the box anyway, feels absolutely fine. We'll start playing around with toe angle and things like that, but start off with, this feels great, to be honest. Considering I've just softened it slightly and put wet tyres on. Oh dear, that's a slight problem. Is that understeers to the moon in the wet conditions. Driven this so much in the dry now that I've got to get used to driving it in the wet and what curves I can and can't use. Okay, slow lap to begin with, but it was wet, so let's try and see how we get on. Whoa, ho, ho, messed up. The very first corner. Look at my phone. I don't have anything on my phone for some reason. Did you message me and it's not coming through? Oh, right. Let me send you them. So all I've got just now there, that's the dry quali setup V5 I've just sent you. And I'll just send you wet V1 1924. And I'll send you this V1 setup as well for the wet. And I'll be in voice chat as well if you want to join this channel. Right. That's weird. It's not picking up my push to talk button. Weird. There we go. Right. Okay, let's see what we can do. Fairly light wet conditions. It's not a lot of rain, but it's enough to have a lack of grip on some of the curbs. But if it's like this on race day, it shouldn't be that bad. Actually gonna have to watch our tyre pressures if it's like this, because a dry line will form quite quickly if we only get this much rain. Oh man. Excuse me. Feels fine in the wet, to be honest. It doesn't feel too bad at all. Just need to work on the braking because I'm messing up the braking quite a bit. Need to test the other engine modes as well, see if any of the other engine modes are better for these wet conditions. Man, I can't stop. Cannot stop in that hairpin. Need to brake way earlier. So the Ferrari is not as good as the Porsche in the wet because the braking distances are pretty rubbish. Bit deep into turn 1 there. I think I'll do this lap and then make some setup adjustments, because this doesn't feel great at the moment. I can't stop there. Need to brake so early in the wet for that one, which is weird because turn 1 feels fine and I just have no braking in the hairpin. Right, let's try this. How's it going, Luciano? Yeah, all good. This is my first time trying the Ferrari in the wet. I've just been grinding it in the dry Nürburgring. Got down to like a 54.6 was my best earlier today. Oh yeah, it's not my favourite. Oh, okay. Nice. We've got next round of RCI next week as well. Well, I'm gonna need to spend quite a bit of time building the setup for Barcelona because the new Porsche isn't good on tyres, and Barcelona is an awful track for tyre wear, so that'll be interesting. yeah, lap times have definitely gotten slower by around 8 tenths a second, I think, but as everyone gets used to the new update, that might drop. But looking now from the previous patch anyway, 1.8, lap times have dropped by about 8 tenths to a second. Nürburgring, I think it's about 8 tenths or something. But then the patch has not long been out, so it's kind of hard to tell if it's just everyone getting used to the new update, or if it's the new tyre model is a second slower. Nice. Yeah, the new DLC was quite cheap actually. Nice. Nice one. Nice. iRacing is definitely quite a challenge to ACC. It's quite a difference. Yeah. Okay, so the tyre pressures is completely wrong at the moment, so we need to sort that and then adjust the tyre pressures a bit, and I think I would like to soften the front of the car up. Nice. And round 2, by the way, is Valencia for SimZone, so new track. That's how I felt when I realised Nürburgring was going to be round 1. Which round's Watkins Glen? For Moza? Or what's Watkins Glen?
Well, not my personal fastest lap.
Alright. Also, since the new update, some conditions in some tracks and car combos, negative toe isn't as effective now. Max negative toe. They've tried to make it more realistic, and the suspension has changed as well. So yeah, I find in some cases max negative toe is still quicker, but in some, like the wet, you don't need to use max negative toe, which in all honesty makes the car a bit more stable, not having to use it. So if anything, it actually feels better after the update driving in the wet. And in the dry it feels slow. It feels a bit slower. Just the lap times. Oh come on, this hairpin. It's like the 15th time I've outbraked myself in the wet. No, the hairpin at the start of sector 2. That one. In the dry it's absolutely fine, but in the wet I keep outbraking myself there. Nice. I'm not a lover of the Nürburgring. I can't say it's one of my favourites. I also set up the dampers just for the dry, that they can take a good amount of curbing in the final chicane. Just have to make sure you've got the right line, because if you've got the right line it will just throw you into the air. if you have the correct line through it, it can take quite a chunk of curbing with the damper settings I use. And do keep in mind it will be my first setup for the Ferrari, so it might not be perfect. The dry definitely felt better than the wet, but see how it feels. Yeah. Well, it'll be the new Porsche for RCI, so I'll have to learn that. But I've PLR are keeping everyone on the old version of the cars. They're not allowing us to change over to new ones, so I've got to drive the old Porsche on the Monday, and then the new Porsche on the Saturdays, and then the Ferrari on the Friday. So 3 different cars. So it's a good bit of challenge. It's just since the cars have just come out, I've got to make all the setups from scratch because of the new update and that. So it means that I've got to put a bit more practice into it, because I can't just use the old setups. Like, we've got Watkins Glen on Monday in the old Porsche, but my old setup probably won't work because of the new update. Whoa, I nearly died. Just cut the entirety of the chicane. About 13,000 times I've tapped the grass on the entry to the chicane and flown straight over it. Okay, let's go again. Just a few adjustments, tire pressures, and then trying something with the camber. Right. Tried to restart the engine and instead just stalled it more. That was not ideal. I just spun and stalled. On and out lap. That was rather embarrassing. Just a sim zone server to practice the wet conditions. Yeah. Foch and Whitehead and Traction Dave. I don't think Traction Dave's quick, he's just a big name, I think. Yeah. I think there's a few other big names as well. But Foch and Whitehead are definitely probably the two quickest that have signed up. Oh yeah, don't forget. I usually just log in with Discord. Oh, you change your car on SimGrid though. Yeah. Oh yeah, no worries. No, not yet. I doubt it. Yeah. Yeah. Just trying to figure out what's better in the wet, camber wise. Max camber like in the dry or lower camber? I don't know, I'm not noticing much difference. That's why I'm not sure what's quicker. I've not seen anyone else in the server. I saw one person who I'm quicker than in the server, but I haven't seen anyone else in the wet server, so I'm not sure what pace we need at the moment, unfortunately. It apparently understeers now, but it's still quick. I thought you told me it was like the same calendar as track day one. Well, any tracks I don't have set up for, I can just send you one of the coach save ones. Most likely, yeah. Nice. Yeah. You can sell it to me because I have Moza. I'll buy it off you. You win. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, you need to sell it to someone on the team. Just ask if anyone wants to buy wheel. Ideally sell it before they send it to you, because then you can just send it to the person that's buying it. Yeah, you didn't do all the races in last season, did you? Yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah, it filled up quite quick. Let's change. Nice. Mercedes is like OP at some tracks now. It's super quick. Oops. Right. Yep. I'm surprised the lack of really big drivers when it's quite a big prize, to be honest. I mean, it's a track day in a Porsche Cayman. It's a fairly big prize considering the entry fee, so I'm surprised there isn't more signed up. Nice. Did I send you that link for that scholarship thing? Yeah, well, I might, if they've got spaces, I'm most likely going to buy that this month. So I can book my spot on that. So that'll be cool. They basically go and test how you are with like media, how your driving is and your fitness, and then the top 10 get invited back, and then the winner gets a scholarship. But it would be good just to for the experience as well. But if you win, you get like £150,000 scholarship. It's quite big. I think so, yeah. I think that we get to drive it, or we try something else. Absolutely. Yep. I think max negative camber is slow. I think max negative camber is slower in the wet. Feels slow. Oh yeah, it's guaranteed light wet. Oh yeah, don't bother practicing dry. It's guaranteed light or medium wet. I was only practicing dry because I wanted to try to get a hot lap. But you don't need to practice dry for Friday because it's guaranteed to be wet. Yeah. Barcelona. It will be a nightmare. And it's going to be dry all race, so it's basically going to be very, 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 very difficult on the tires. Oh man. I've done that so many times. Just spinning it on that curb. Okay, I want to try something. With the camber. Trying minimum camber in the wet to see if it's quicker. Less camber seems more stable, but I can't really tell if it's much quicker. Yeah. Definitely feels better having the minimum camber. But I'm 90% sure it's slower. Because it feels much slower. Nice. Oh dear. Depends how your Steam is set up. When you launch the game, if it says version 1.9, then you know it's updated. Well, version 1.91 I think now, because they released a hotfix. Because the Ferrari was having driver swap issues, I think. Yeah. I also definitely think lower camber is slower. I seem to be losing time, not gaining time with it. I tried to just go minimum camber to see, just test the other extreme and see if it felt any better, and then I could lower it to find the sweet spot, but it seems to be slower than maximum negative camber. So I'm just going to go max negative and soften the rest of the suspension up a bit. It's not bad in the wet, to be honest. It's not bad. I've had some fantastic crashes though. Yeah, it's on the Discord. Oh yeah, max negative camber definitely feels a bit better. It's I think just the one that you get when you press on it. Whoa. Be very careful on the entry curbs. So much as touch them and you instant die. As I just found out. Yeah. I've made some setup adjustments, I'm going to test them. And if these work, then I'm going to have to go and I'll send you the setup. Because I have work very early tomorrow morning. And it's quite late now. I rather stupidly did leg day, not yesterday but the day before, and my leg is still in pain, so I may have overdone it slightly. But it's not my leg, it's my calf, like my left calf, so the one I need to break is in quite a bit of pain, which is not a good combination when you need to grind driving and it hurts to break. Wet V1, yeah, forget about the dry quali one because you also don't need that unless you're driving in the dry. It's got quite high fuel load, the wet one. It's got like 30 litres, so it's kind of between a quali and a race one, but it's just to get a feeling of the car. Yeah. Again, messing up the braking. Yeah. I've not tried the other engine modes, so I need to test them. Because some people use engine mode 3 in that. Some people use engine map 1. I'm just using engine map 1. But I need to either find out what the other ones are for or test them. But I haven't had time to do that yet. you're on the new version of the game in a new car and in wet conditions. It's not great to learn the new game. The feedback has changed slightly, yeah. It also changes between cars, so the new Porsche feels very different to the new Ferrari in the force feedback. Okay, this feels good, so I think I might send this to you and then shoot off, because this feels quite good now. I genuinely have no idea. I did, in the light wet conditions, I was doing 202s, but I've just done a 202.3 and I'm 3/10 up in the first like 3-4 corners, so I'm assuming 2-minute flats are probably, or 2-minute ones is probably going to be decent. Like I say, I have no idea really until there's some others in the server, because I've not really seen anyone else in the server that I can compare the lap times with. Really need to see what lap times Foch does, because he's in the Ferrari and he's very good in the Ferrari. Yeah. Yeah, unless I'm on like an exit curb and need the traction. But I do rev it quite high. It's not too bad for me, but then I've also been playing the new version a few days now. Not really. But try going to your controls and checking that none of the settings have been reset after the update. Because your settings might have been reset. You might need to reload your preset. You know, after the update, might have changed them. Yeah, I've just done a 201.6 there. Because it's now damp, it's not wet. What, like your wheel feels really light in the high speed corners? Oh, right. Yeah. I don't know, it depends. It's weird. I have to take the high speed corners quite slow in the wet, I'm finding though. A bit of understeer. I almost want to kind of abruptly turn in to get the slip angle. And then just try and keep it smooth. Right. I think I'll send you the setup and then shoot off. Because that setup's feeling quite good. Yeah, that's what I was saying. The braking in the wet is awful. I mean, increase your ABS if you want, but it's very weird braking. Yeah, it's weird. You can try lower ABS or changing your brake bias if you want, but yeah, the braking doesn't feel great. Yeah, I'm not using TC2 because you get away with just using TC1. It doesn't feel like it needs TC2 at the moment. But I sent Did you get the new setup? Hello? Did you get the new setup? I WhatsApped you the new setup, so you should have that one. Try that. That should hopefully be a little bit better. But yeah, if you need help with anything, just message me, and I will be on some point tomorrow to do more practice. Cool. Right, I shall see you later. Bye. You too. Right guys, so that's going to finish us up for tonight. We got a bit of hot lapping done there, definitely at least another second to find, and we've got that wet setup mostly built, to be honest. I'll just adjust a few little things, but the main parts of the setup are all done, so happy with that. And the next stream will be on Friday. I'm working tomorrow, so I won't be able to get a stream in tomorrow, but I will get a stream in on Friday for the race day. So we'll see how that goes. But as always guys, big thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and see you again next time.